When you talked about moving to Knoxville to go to school, you said your parents had given up one child for integration, and that was your good luck. Good luck how?
I grew closer to my grandmother, and we're living. Of course, I'm 60, so we are still a part of the extended family. But I would never have gotten to know grandmother and grandfather in the way that I did had I not lived with them, had I not been the only grandchild.
But what about the change between the semi-integrated situation you're leaving in Ohio and the segregated system you're finding in Knoxville?
Cost and benefits. I had a segregated, and of course grandmother, my God, the day, God, the day, I'm laughing, but it was very sad to me. The day that the children were bombed, this was in '63, the day that the children were bombed in Birmingham, there was a mass meeting in Knoxville. I could tell you 80 million stories about this, but there was a mass meeting in Knoxville. My grandmother actually was 3 years younger than I am now, right? And grandmother goes to the mass meeting. Of course, she's sitting down front because she's one of the community leaders, and there are others in Knoxville, but she's sitting down front. And they decided to have a march, right? Grandmother's first person on her feet, she said, John Brown, my grandpa, John Brown and I are too old to march, but my granddaughter Nikki's here, and she will march for us. But I hadn't gone because the children were not invited at that point. You remember, it was only when we got to Birmingham, well, as we got into the Birmingham campaign, the children became so prominent. And so grandmother came home and she said, got good news for you. And I'm looking at her because I'm not a fool. I knew that what had happened. I thought, whatever she's got, it cannot be good news for me. She said, you know, I told him, she said, I was the first person, I told him that John Brown and I are too old to march, but you'd be there for us. She said, I'm going to get you up in the morning and fix breakfast, and we'll be up in a cab to watch you. I think I would have been a very different person without knowing that woman in that way.
So that was a benefit.
Oh my God, yes, because, well, grandparents are so different from parents in both their expectation and in how they approach you. Because grandmother's like, isn't this wonderful? And I did. I mean, I had to go pick it because it was, whatever was uptown in Knoxville, Tennessee, that was Gay Street. Whatever was on Gay Street was not as formidable to me as me telling grandmother I couldn't do it. But you know, Julian, when you look at the civil rights movement, you're still looking at grandparents and grandchildren. Because that parent group was saying to all of us, I think, I'm not speaking for you in any way, but the parents were saying, I don't want you hurt. You know, I sent you to school to get an education. Don't do that. Let somebody else do that. And it was the grandparents. It's like, yeah, let the boy say what, you know. It was the grandparent. Another aside, if I may, for just 2 seconds. I'm a big sports fan. And in looking at the NBA, just for example, if you look at the NBA right now, again, you've got this phenomenon of grandparents rearing grandsons who have gone on to be superstars. And I know that there's something to that grandparent experience that's very different. We have so many parents who, and I have nothing against that, but for a variety of reasons, drugs or no jobs or any number of things, have not been able to rear their children. And they've taken them back to their grandparents. And, you know, you look at all these superstars, you're looking mostly at grandsons. And it's a phenomenon. I wish I was a sociologist. I would study it. I'm a poet, so I'm just interested.
It's a phenomenon that also has cost and benefits.
Yeah, but real good cost.
Yes. But,